64 chips compound inaugurated in the Upper West region.
A book of condolence opened in memory of late Jake Obechebi Lamte.
And Belgian authorities identified 2 bombers of Tuesday's twin attack.
Thank you for selecting GBC24. Time to bring you News Hour, coming to you from Broadcasting House here in Accra. My name is Gifty Iji.
I am Shelley Annan. Robert Frimpong-Manso is our signer for tonight.
And now the stories. The outgoing Malian envoy has paid a courtesy call on President John Mahama in Accra to announce the end of her duty tour of Ghana.
In discussions at the Flagstaff House, Mali described Ghana as an African laboratory where sister countries learn or measure their own progress. Napoleon Atukitu reports.
Mali refers to Ghana as laboratory of the region, which a top Malian diplomat explained to be standard bearer. In this open manner, Mali acknowledges the strides Ghana has been making as a regional power. Ghana is the second largest economy in West Africa, a driver of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and second most populous in the sub-region. Ghana has won the African Cup of Nations soccer tournament more than any other in West Africa. She is also a major peace broker in the volatile region, aside from its significant contributions to peacekeeping operations. Going forward, the Ghana government has been working to position the country as aviation and energy hubs of the sub-region, an ambition which now is a catalyst for infrastructural boom in Ghana. Mali recognizes these as revealed in the words of her outgoing envoy in Accra, Konanji Eisata Coulibaly.
During my stay here, I was able to understand how the economy of Ghana works. This was really something that was interesting for me. I can say that now I understand the system, the economical system of Ghana. Okay. Regarding debt management, energy management, and the attraction of investment to Ghana, something that is really difficult. And I can say that I have noticed that under your aegis, this was really, things are really moving in Ghana, Your Excellency.
Yeah, today we've increased the volumes of cargo that Mali takes from our ports through Ghana to Bamako. We are in the process of tying our transmission electricity grids together so that we can supply any excess power we have to Burkina Faso, to Niger, and to Mali.
Okay.
At the same time, we are also receiving a lot of goods from Mali, including beef, livestock, many other agricultural products, sesame seeds, and so on and so forth.
Mali is one of the West African trio which unenviably came under the audacious attacks of terrorists. The incidents have heightened security in West Africa, with sister countries expressing solidarity with nations which have fallen victim to the attacks. Napoleon Atukitu for GTV.
Ghana will soon have a business outsourcing center. The center, which will be dubbed Accra Business Process Outsourcing Center, is expected to create jobs and open up opportunities for Ghanaians, especially the youth.
A meeting has been held in Accra to discuss progress of work and expectations of the outsourcing center. The 12-unit project is worth $8.8 million.
The construction of the Accra Business Process Outsourcing Center started in 2011. The blocks housing the center used to be warehouses but are being refurbished with the support of the Ministry of Communication, Rockefeller Foundation and the World Bank. Its purpose is to create jobs and, when complete, would employ close to 10,000 people who will work 24 hours. The project will also create a conducive environment for business process outsourcing to flourish. A lead ICT specialist at the World Bank, Madame Mavis Ampa, urged the youth to dare to be more skillful.
The projection that 10,000 jobs will be created through this facility almost translates into 40,000, because for those of you who are in this sector, the analysis is that for every job created, 3 to 4 additional jobs are created in ancillary facilities in the transportation, food, beverage, everything that comes with this industry. So it's an enormous opportunity for growth.
The Africa Regional Coordinator of the Rockefeller Foundation, Mr. Mamadou Bite, said his outfit is also partnering other organizations to train the youth in ICT. A Deputy Minister for Communication, Mr. Atusapong, said government is committed to developing the right policies for businesses to flourish in the country.
We are positioning ourselves to be able to attract a lot of these investments. So be at the forefront of attracting that investment, attracting the loans and attracting the grants, and use the loans and the grants to develop the right infrastructure on the back of which private enterprise will flourish.
The project is 99% complete and is expected to be inaugurated in 2 months.
Now, President John Mahama on Wednesday signed a book of condolence in memory of Mr. Jake Obechebi-Lamte, former chairman of the NPP, at the residence of the deceased in Accra.
The prominent opposition politician died in London last Saturday after a short illness. Napoleon Atukito reports.
It is common but significant practice in Ghana. President John Mahama was at the residence of the late Jake Obechebi-Lamte to sign the book of condolence in his memory. The overture rings a bell when it comes to the political backgrounds of the president and the late opposition politician. The tragic death of Mr. Obechebi-Lamte has brought the titans of two political forces together, unfortunately in mourning. In signing the book of condolence for the prominent NPP politician, the president, Mr. John Mahama, did so in the vein of a triad on his own behalf, on behalf of government, and on behalf of the people of Ghana. The deceased passed on in a London hospital on the 20th of this month after a short illness. Mr. Jacob Obechebi-Lamte was the immediate past chairman of the NPP. He was the first chief of staff of the Kufuor administration, subsequently becoming the Minister of Information and then the Tourism and Modernization of the Capital City Minister, a son of a member of the Big Six who championed the cause of Ghana's political independence. Napoleon Atukito reporting.
The use of inferior electrical cables has been identified as a major cause of domestic fire outbreaks in the country.
The Chief Fire Officer, Dr. Albert Brown-Gazy, has cautioned Ghanaians to desist from engaging the services of amateur electricians in fixing electrical problems.
Dr. Brown-Gazy was speaking at the inauguration of a fire station at Agunansaba in the Central Region.
The Central Region recorded about 228 fire outbreaks in the first 2 months in the year. Properties destroyed are estimated at over 40,000 Ghana cedis. It is timely then that a new fire station has been opened at Agunansaba to help in firefighting and prevention. It is the first to be opened as part of efforts by the government to have fire stations in all the districts nationwide to help prevent fires. The Chief Fire Officer, Dr. Albert Brown-Gazy, urged the officers to properly maintain the fire tender.
We shall maintain whatever that has been provided to us for the betterment of the service, for the betterment of the community, and for the betterment of the country as a whole.
The Deputy Central Regional Minister and MP for the area, Mrs. Quinsta Sawyer, was grateful for the timely intervention. The Regional Fire Commander, DOI Gilbert Riafe, was also appreciative of the gesture and promised to take good care of the facility.
Just joined us, you're watching News Hour on GBC24. We'll take a break, and when we come back, business will be next. Please stay.
Hello again, let's do business, brought to you by SIC, Airtel and Ernest Chemist. Now, the world's population stands at 7 billion. Out of this number, 6 billion do not have access to internet access, according to a World Bank report.
The Alliance for Affordable Internet is a new global coalition of more than 30 members committed to driving down the cost of internet access in less developed countries, with a focus on policy and regulatory reform. Since 2013, the group has been conducting research into how policymakers can increase internet access at an affordable rate. This year's affordability report looked at the state of affordability across 51 developing and emerging countries, with a focus on how policy and regulation are working to reduce broadband prices and enable wider access. Also high on the radar is how poverty and income inequality are masking the true state of affordability and actions that need to be taken by policymakers to overcome these barriers. The report further stated that for developing countries to reach the SDG target for universal and affordable access in the world's least developed countries by 2020, it will require bold and immediate action. Otherwise, this target would be achieved in 2042. The World Bank Country Director, Henry Kerali, said the solution to bridging the digital divide required the right policy mix.
I hope, on behalf of the World Bank here in Ghana, that the 2016 WDR will help Ghana and other countries to implement effective digital development strategies. The greatest rise of information and communication in history will not be truly revolutionary until it benefits everyone in every part of the world.
The Director, Statistics and Information Management at the Ministry of Communication, Patricia Dovi Samsing, outlined a number of measures the government is undertaking to bridge the gender digital divide.
Government has completed building a national data center infrastructure that will serve the public and private entities in the country. The National Data Center comprises of a primary data center in Accra, which has a 500 rack space estimated to be the largest in West Africa.
The author of the 2016 World Development Report, Tim Kelly, said, in order for developing countries to bridge the digital divide, the digital technologies must be complemented with innovation, efficiency and inclusion.
In order to build a good digital economy, we need first to put in place good analog foundations. What do I mean by analog foundations? I mean good governance. I mean the necessary skills, both basic skills and more advanced digital literacy skills. And I also mean good institutions and regulations.
According to players in the digital industry, without urgent reforms, in 2020, the world will see just 16% of people in the world's poorest countries and 53% of the world as a whole connected to the internet.
Let's do some technology now. Now, Zepto, in collaboration with Microsoft, has launched the new Zepto Unitab 10.1 tablet PC in Accra. This product comes with a Windows 10 and a free Office 360 suite.
Zepto Limited is the only owned Ghanaian company. It was established in 2010 as a joint venture between a Danish business group and Ghanaian investors. Zepto deals in a variety of products including Zepto TVs, LCDs, LEDs and laptops. In its drive to become a leader in ICT devices and services, Zepto has partnered with Microsoft to introduce onto the Ghanaian market its new Zepto Unitab 10.1 2-in-1 tablet computer. The Unitab 10.1, which is selling at a retail price of 999 Ghana cedis with an ergonomic keyboard, an onboard 3G data access, Windows 10, Office 365 mobile, long battery life and free 1TB OneDrive access for 1 year. Its long battery life and versatile tablet PC form factor makes it an attractive option for those looking for an affordable device that provides the function of a laptop with the convenience of a tablet. The chief executive of Zepto, Mr. Charles Ofori, believes that existing and potential customers of Zepto would be so fulfilled with this package.
We are redefining our role in today's ICT business environment, not just in Ghana, but within the West Africa and Central Africa marketplace. We are poised to lead the way in the delivery of purpose-built devices that are great in features, quality, and affordable, while also providing unmatched support to our end users.
The Consumer Channels Group leader for Microsoft in West and Central Africa, Mr. Mark Pritchard, assured users of the security and data storing smartness of the Unitab.
We're living in a world where there are many issues around security and cybersecurity. And one of the big advantages of having a Windows device is that you're always secure. You know that always your data on your device is totally secure. And it also protects you better against the risks of cybercriminality.
As part of its corporate social responsibility, Zepto has donated 10 Unitab 10.1 tablet PCs to the British Council Skills Hub project, which seeks to train and improve the skills of Ghanaian youth.
The producer price inflation rate for February was 14.5%. The rate represents a 2.4 percentage point decrease in producer inflation relative to the rate recorded in January 2016, which stood at 16.9%.
The producer price inflation in the mining and quarrying subsector increased by 5.7 percentage points over the January 2016 rate of 2.9% to record 8.6% in February 2016. Manufacturing, which constitutes more than 2/3 of the entire industrial sector, decreased by 2.3 percentage points to record 9.8%. The utilities subsector recorded an inflation rate of 43.9% in February 2016, indicating a decrease of 12.7 percentage points over the January 2015 rate of 56.6%. The year-on-year inflation in ex-factory prices of goods and services was 14.5% for February 2016. The government statistician, Dr. Philomena Nyako, said the inflation rate in the petroleum subsector was -5% in February 2015.
For utilities, we have the inflation rate for February 2015 being 15.7%. In March 2015, the rate inched up slightly to 15.8%. but increased to 20.8% in June 2015. It subsequently declined to record 7.3% in July 2015. In August 2015, it inched slightly to 8.4%, but declined consistently to record 5.3% in October 2015, and remained unchanged in November 2015. In December 2015, it rose sharply to 56.6%, and remained stable at that level in January 2016, but declined to 43.9% in February 2016.
The monthly changes in the producer price index indicated that mining and quarrying recorded the highest monthly change rate of 7.8%, followed by the manufacturing subsector with 0.2%. The utilities subsector recorded the lowest inflation rate of -7.9%. Beatrice Senaju, GBC24, Accra.
And still in business, Accra has taken delivery of one of its newest edifices, firmly setting the city on a true path of transformation. It is the new MTN headquarters building located along the Independence Avenue, a ceremonial route in the capital.
It is called the MTN House, a mobile telephony service provider, which is commonly used by persons living in Ghana. MTN was a key industry player of the communication revolution in Ghana, which started in the late 90s. Today, the use of mobile phones is no longer a luxury. Everyone uses it. Market women, truck pushers, food vendors, students, mechanics, administrators and all kinds of professionals and persons use mobile phones. Out of some 33 million subscribers of mobile telephony, the share of MTN is 16.2 million, obviously the lion's share of the market. The new headquarters building becomes the situation room for managing a chunk of the population who are subscribers of MTN. Staff will facilitate the network, which defy distance and break barriers to human communication. The multi-purpose edifice located just opposite the College of Surgeons building in Accra also have a media conference center, video conference center, a cafeteria, a network operating center, a first-class gym and a creche for staff nursing children aged between 3 and 15 months. The sector is nothing new to the sitting president, who at the time oversaw the genesis of the process when he was the communications minister. Mr. Ebenezer Chum Asante, CEO of MTN Ghana, said the acquisition of 4G licenses will engender high speed and improve customer service.
This building is our own way to make a bold declaration of our belief in this country and its future. And it is a future we must all work to make great.
The board chair of MTN is the experienced entrepreneur and policymaker Ishmael Yamson.
What we cannot quantify is the extent to which MTN has impacted the lives of Ghanaians and become part of this country's culture. Today, there's no place in Ghana that does not in some way inherently display the distinct yellow and the MTN brand.
President John Mahama commended MTN for the strides it has made in a business which has engulfed all other sectors of the economy.
Over the years, MTN Ghana has proven itself to be a very good corporate citizen. The company remains the largest taxpayer in the telecommunications sector of Ghana. Beyond its contribution to government revenue, MTN Ghana provides direct as well as indirect employment to thousands of Ghanaians in its entire value chain of operation.
MTN started as a company in South Africa, sprouting to other parts of the continent in no time, a common abbreviation on the lips of many when it comes to its area of operations. Napoleon Atukitu for GTV.
Let's go to the interbank market and check how the local currency is performing. We also bring you latest price of gold, cocoa, and oil on the international commodities market. Insurance news brought to you by SIC Live. Now, players in the insurance industry have described the insurance of Ghanaian footballers as a positive development in the industry. The head of asset management at Fidelity Securities, Kwesi Boahen, said this move will go a long way to increase insurance penetration in the country.
The Insurance and Life After Football Fund for all professional footballers based in Ghana, as well as Ghanaian players abroad, is an initiative established to ensure that players in the domestic top flights and players plying their trade abroad get the needed indemnity to enjoy the game. The Insurance and Life After Football Fund is expected to cover more than 800 players. According to the General Secretary of the PFAG, Tony Baffo, the policy will also cover 30 players in each of the 16 Premier League clubs in the country. The head, Asset Management at Fidelity Securities, Kwesi Edubuahene, said this move will go a long way to support the players in their field of profession.
The nature of a football career can be characterized by three main things: the short lifespan of the career compared to the average worker, the brief earning capacity, and also their bodies being exposed to constant risk. There is also a high tendency that at the end of the career, wealth and optimism can be replaced by disillusionment if players are not properly assisted to seamlessly transition into a new career. Against this backdrop, Fidelity Group, that's the bank and the Securities Limited, with the support and guidance of its management, assisted PFAG in structuring this fund, so at least they can address the challenge of the footballers once they retire.
The pilot project of this scheme will start with all players of the Ghana Premier League for the next 2 years. Players will make a monthly contribution of 15 Ghana cedis, of which the money will be kept for a period of time before withdrawals can be made.
And that was Insurance News brought to you by SIC Live. News hour continues right after this break. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to the health segment of the news, proudly brought to you by FPAC. Blows your pain away. My name is Evans Echampon. Ghana has unveiled a new national community-based health planning and services CHIPS policy. The new policy aims to avoid past failures and place the country firmly on course to quicken the pace of achieving universal health coverage and other health-related goals under the SDGs. The launch of the new policy coincided with the inauguration of 64 new CHIPS compounds. The ceremony at WA in the Upper West region was performed by the Vice President, Kwesi Arthur.
The joy of these people is the relief of accessing basic health care, which hitherto took several kilometers. The 64 new community-based health planning and services CHIPS compound for the Upper West region comes at a time when scores of people lost their lives to the meningitis outbreak during the Harmattan. To the Upper West Regional Minister, Mr. Amidu Suleimani, the issue of maternal and avoidable deaths will further reduce drastically. The 64 new CHIPS compounds add up to the existing 1,410 nationwide. Japan funded the 64 project at a cost of $8.9 million and retooled 74 existing CHIPS compounds with modern medical materials. The Japanese government says it will continue to commit resources to help Ghana provide quality health care to her citizens.
As the facilities and equipment are being handed over, it assures that the government of Ghana will utilize them to accelerate the attainment of UAC, because this is what the government and people of Japan yearn for.
On his part, the Minister for Health, Mr. Alex Segbefia, noted the revision of the existing policy is to make the program an effective and a viable one for the sector.
Considering the importance of partnerships in the implementation of CHIPS, the need for a common understanding of CHIPS by all stakeholders cannot be overemphasized. Without a common understanding, each stakeholder will contribute according to their understanding, which will negatively impact on coordination. That is why we have the policy to guide the implementation process.
Vice President Kwesi Arthur said it is the agenda of government to bridge the inequality gap in the health sector.
The priority of government, therefore, is to ensure that the majority of Ghanaians obtain health services without unwarranted restrictions, including distance, the geographical restriction, and financial access. That is why we continue to build a strong and efficient health system, a system for sustainable financing health services, and improved access to essential medicines and appropriate technologies. These form an integral part of the health sector's medium-term development plan 2014 to 2017. What we are calling the CHIPS policy is a policy that will guide health programming and investment at the community level.
For the new CHIPS policy, 5 pillars is the guiding principle. These are duty of care, human resource, infrastructure, funding, supporting, and evaluation. This will ensure standardization and correlation in the management of the sector.
Now, the country representative of the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Ms. Suzanne Namondo Ingongi, has been visiting some communities in the Volta region to ascertain practical efforts being made by the Regional Health Directorate and other agencies in advancing the rights of women and children to good nutrition. The tour was also to advocate for nutrition on the regional and national agenda for children.
The team first called on the Volta Regional Health Director of the Ghana Health Services. They later paid a courtesy call on the Regional Minister Helen Adjoa-Ntoso. The Regional Nutrition Officer Nutifafa Glover, in a presentation, showed how his outfit has used innovative activities to carry out a nutrition program supported by UNICEF to reduce stunted growth as well as improve nutrition among children and pregnant women. The team also visited Harvard Jerusalem, where the Smart School Kids performed a drama on exclusive breastfeeding, nutrition and sanitation. At Hilefi, the team interacted with model mothers. They later moved to Akope Toko to witness how smart kids use the game of snake and ladders to learn more about exclusive breastfeeding, supplementary feeding and nutrition.
Tell us what is happening there.
The last stop was at the Amuzu Deva, where the team interacted with a mother-to-mother support group.
They were talking about breastfeeding and the importance of nutrition. They also talked very much about sanitation. And as I say, you know, sanitation is the twin of nutrition. If your sanitation is not good, if there feces open in the community, if somehow that feces finds its way to our food or to inside the body somehow, all that good nutrition that you're trying to practice would not work.
And that's all in this segment, brought to you by FPAC. Blows your pain away. News Hour continues right after the break.
Two of the suicide bombers who carried out attacks in Brussels on Tuesday have been named as brothers Khalid and Brahim, all Belgian nationals. The federal prosecutor said Brahim was part of the attack at Belgium's international airport that killed 11 people.
Khalid struck at the city metro station where 20 people died. In all, 260 people were injured. Police are still hunting another man seen in an airport CCTV image. Belgium is observing 3 days of national mourning. The nation held a minute's silence at midday on Wednesday. Islamic State said it was behind the attacks and warned that more would follow. And away from that story, new figures from the UN indicate that 474 people have been killed in Burundi since last April, when a crisis broke out over President Pierre Nkurunziza's decision to run for a third term. Experts presented their findings from a visit to Burundi earlier this month at the UN Council for Human Rights in Geneva.
A Burundian government representative believes that the killings were perpetrated by insurgents on Tuesday. A senior army officer and ally of the president was shot dead inside the Defense Ministry compound. An army mayor was also reportedly shot dead last night while leaving a bar in the center of the capital, Bujumbura. Now up next is sports.
Welcome back in sport. Black Stars coach Avram Grant says he expects a tough challenge from Mozambique come Thursday.
Ghana welcomes Mozambique to Accra in an Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. The first leg is scheduled for Thursday.
The Black Stars intensified their preparations on Tuesday at the Accra Sports Stadium ahead of the 2017 AFCON qualifier doubleheader against Mozambique. Coach Avram Grant had all 23 players invited present, including home-based players Samuel Tete of Wafa, while Stars goalkeeper Richard Ofori and Inter-Allies midfielder Evans Mensah. Determination was written on the faces of the Stars as they all looked set to get into the starting lineup. On June 14, 2015, the Black Stars mauled Mauritius by 7-1 in their opening day of the Africa Cup of Nations Gabon 2017 qualifiers at the Accra Sports Stadium. They followed it up with a vital 1-0 away win on 6 September 2015 when they played Rwanda in Kigali in match day 2 of the qualifiers. On Thursday, the Accra Sports Stadium will come alive again as the Stars continue their journey towards qualification to the 2017 Nations Cup. The return leg is set for 3 days later in Maputo, Mozambique. Ahead of the clash, Coach Avram Grant says the encounter is a must-win.
This is the most important, the game that we are playing. I will tell you like this, we follow the videos of them, even they change the coach. Very good team, they're good with the ball, they're fighting always. I think they lost the 2 games because they dominate completely the game and there was not a way for counter-attack. But we have 6 points, we are the leading team, we are playing at home and against any team in the world, doesn't matter by the way home or the way we want to win. But they are a strong opponent, very strong opponent, you will see it.
The Black Stars are currently on top of Group H with 6 points after 2 games. They are followed by Mauritius and Rwanda with 3 points each and Mozambique bottom with no point. The game on Thursday will be live on GTV and GTV Sports Plus and all GBC regional FM stations.
Meanwhile, some Black Star players have promised to give of their best to ensure victory on Thursday.
In football, you just have to respect your opponent, because if you underrate your opponent, I think things will go bad. So we're not really focused on things being going down, but we're always ready for the challenge, and then we just hope we'll make it in tomorrow's game with a victory and then make Mother Ghana proud.
The coach will make this choice, and we're just happy to play with any of our colleagues. So. We will be ready for tomorrow.
We just go in with the aim to win and get the 3 points. So either it comes with 1 goal, 3 goal, whatever happens, we have to just qualify the nation for AFCON 2017. We are not under pressure.
And away from that story, the head coach of the Bambas of Mozambique says his side will cause an upset when they play the Stars on Thursday.
The coach says despite being tagged as underdogs in the group, Mozambique should not be written off.
We respect Ghana as a team, individually and collectively, but of course we're coming here with one objective, to remain intact our perspectives and our objectives. It's to win. Tomorrow we're going to present a team with a lot of courage to try to break this strong team Ghana, because we have a hope that we can also produce what I think and what we believe.
If we win our next 4 games, we can be there. Anything can happen. We won't give up now. Just gonna try to give our best, and we'll see in the end what's gonna happen.
An international initiative to improve and create opportunities for young people through sports and academia has been launched in Accra.
It has been dubbed Puma School of Speed. Ex-Black Stars captain Stephen Appiah is the ambassador of the project.
The project is supported by the PFAG. It attracted some former Black Stars players like Joe Ado, Anthony Bafo, Amankwam Reku, and Lawrence Ajatete. The CEO of Puma, Mrs. Cindy Egan, said more events are lined up for the coming month. The Deputy Youth and Sports Minister, Mr. Vincent Opona Samoa, congratulated Puma and the Ghana Education Service for the initiative. The team of qualified coaches will select outstanding players from 20 selected public schools to be groomed for the main event in May. Players who emerge the best will get opportunities to meet sports celebrities under the aegis of Puma.
And that was sports. Coming up is entertainment.
Daniel Keche Kwame Fosu, known in showbiz as KK Fosu, collapsed on Tuesday during a rehearsal at Agboba, a suburb of Accra. His manager, Mel Kwesi Davis, says KK Fosu has for some days now been overworking himself towards a gig in Ko this Easter.
According to him, KK wants to use the upcoming event to up his game after having been absent from the entertainment scene for some time now. The high-life musician is currently on admission at the Cedar Hospital at Agboba, but his manager says KK is responding to treatment and will soon be discharged. And away from that story, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Art, Mrs. Elizabeth Ofusue-Jare, has paid a visit to commensurate with the family of the late comedian Bob Ukala at his residence at Amasaman in Accra.
Bishop Bob Ukala died at the Kofodia Hospital after he collapsed on stage during a carnival at the Kofodia Jackson Park. Following the demise of the aged comedian, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Mrs. Elizabeth Ofusue-Jare, accompanied by some officials from the ministry, the National Theatre and some industry players, paid a visit to the late comedian's family. The tourism minister described Bob Ukala's death as a big blow to the creative industry and Ghana at large.
President then so person me ba na ode soma me na mbema abusua ya se wo som na yi wa ye saabia na che se wo kun ho ama ya na akoye se abusua hia na mo hye data emwa bia e wo se ode beboa ma na yiye ye kama te se di papa na oye obeboa enti mu suan mo sisuesu efise president gina ho a o gina mochi amama ye na mana efefefe no.
The family expressed appreciation to the minister and government for their support in the aftermath of the tragedy. According to the family, Ukala's one-week celebration will be held on the 1st of April 2016 at the Arts Center in Accra. Paragliding has become a significant part of Easter celebrations in Ghana. As this year's Easter approaches, many people are gearing up for the festival.
And after inspecting the site to ensure that the stage is set and safe for the show, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Art, Mrs. Elizabeth Ofusue-Jare, has given the green light for the festival to take off.
The Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Mrs. Elizabeth Ofusue-Jare, inspected the site where the paragliding will be taking place. She expressed satisfaction with the level of preparedness in anticipation of the festival.
Those who cannot paraglide, like my chief director, can learn how to dance how the Swedo people dance. So if you come from the Volta region, you want to learn bobobo, they will teach you how to do a few bobobo so that anytime you attend a funeral or a festival in your town, at least you can do some few good steps. If you come from Ashanti, they will show you some few good steps in respect of Adowa. It's going to be fun. So whether you can paraglide, whether you can do upscaling, singing, eating, there's something for everybody.
She also said her ministry, together with the Ghana Tourism Authority, have put all the necessary measures in place to ensure that the event is successful. This year's paragliding will take place from the 25th of March 2016 to the 29th. It is expected to be fan-packed.
We now go to the Weather Center for the update in the weather report.
Thank you for watching News Hour on GBC24. Before we go, a look again at the stories that made headlines. Vice President Kwesi Mensah-Arthur has inaugurated 64 CHIPS compound for residents in the Upper West region. The aim is to augment existing health facilities in that part of the country.
President John Mahama has signed a book of condolence in memory of former chairman of the NPP, Jake Obechebi-Lamte. The prominent opposition politician died in London last Saturday after a short illness.
And two other suicide bombers who carried out attacks in Brussels on Tuesday have been named as brothers Khalid and Brahim, all Belgian nationals. Meanwhile, police are still hunting another man seen in an airport CCTV image.
And this has been News Hour on GBC24. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.